Now to our special focus this evening on the Jallikattu events in Tamil Nadu. On the auspicious day of Pongal, a day dedicated for celebrating cattle as part of the harvest festival in the state. It's day 2 of the Pongal celebrations there. It's a brutal but emotive and traditional bull taming sport that has had a long history in the courts and has seen emotive arguments on both sides. That's our focus this evening. On the one side are animal rights activists who had long argued for a ban, and on the other are the staunch supporters of the sport as part of Tamil tradition and culture. What has changed about the realities of Jallikattu? Remember, after a long legal battle that started in 2006, in 2023, a constitution bench of the Apex Court upheld a Tamil Nadu legislation allowing Jallikattu. 2 years hence, have the realities of Jallikattu changed on the ground? What impact have the years of debate and legal battles had on those both for and against the event? Joining me this evening, NDTV's Sam Daniels, Hima Kiran, a noted voice who has supported the sport and the event through those turbulent conversations that went around it. Rajashekaran Chandrasekaran, president of the Voice of Tamil Nadu, someone who's taken a position against it. Hima Kiran, first to you. In terms of the realities of Jallikattu itself on the ground, what has been the key changes that have come about after years of arguments? Obviously, there must be some amount of information from the other side and the other argument that's been absorbed, if I may put it that way, by the organizers.
Thanks for having me. So, over the last 7 years, since 2017, a lot more regulations have been put in place. There's a lot more checking of the bulls, the players, and it's organized in a series of rounds. Like each round has a limited number of players allowed into the arena. And after every round, only the top players, like, who've tamed a couple of bulls go to the next level. So this is one of the major changes. And in terms of scrutiny, every bull is registered a few days earlier, checked by government veterinarians in every venue. And also the players are also given a briefing before the event. They're also checked for physical health and things like that. And so these are some of the regulations that have been put in place. And in terms of interaction with public, a lot more infrastructure like barricades and preventive measures from people from getting injured have been put in place. And in terms of organizing an event, it's a lot more complicated now, and it's a lot more regulated. And year on year, the collectors of the district, every district where the events are held, have a meeting with the organizers, and each village committee which organizes the event in any particular village has to go meet the collector and has to have like a briefing done, and there's a discussion based on the ground conditions of each event. And these are some of the changes that have happened over the last 7 years, since 2017, when the ban was overturned.
Rajashekaran Chandrasekhar, you heard what Hima Kiran has said. How do you see the journey now for the event itself and the arguments that have been made against it?
Earlier, as rightly pointed out, the players, the Jallikattu organizations, the organizers were not following the norms or following what has to be done. But there was cruelty against animals. Definitely it was happening. And they were holding the tails, were piercing with sharp rods, something, etc., etc. Now, after so much of regulations, so much of rules in place, they have changed a lot. And even the players' test they undergo before participating in this event, that is also. But above all that, it has become a commercial affair. Before it was passion, before it was tradition, before it was culture, and it was celebrated. Now, lot of big people, even corporates. Corporates have started funding events like this, and they used to take the bulls with real love and affection, that has decreased. I wouldn't say they are not taking care of their bulls and they are not taking care of other things related to the cows and the bulls. But the passion is not there.
Right.
Initially, it was a
Okay.
game played with passion and love. That has decreased. That is my point. I've been following it
Himakiran?
for several years.
Yeah, Himakiran, like everything else, is this also becoming more commercial, less about culture and passion and love, as Rajashekaran is saying?
Oh, see, it depends on the person who perceives it, right? What is commercial? Giving a price worth 500 rupees, is it commercial? When you say
No,
corporates, local companies which are like operating in that area, they give out, they sponsor the event. I mean, it is not funded, okay? An event probably costs anywhere between 25 to 30 lakhs, and the village committee. So if you have an understanding of village festivals, every household in the village, every person or a family which holds land has a certain amount of money which they pay for the festival to happen. I come up from a village in northern Tamil Nadu where we don't have a sport like this, but we do have village festivals based on the land holding, based on certain factors. Everybody has a fixed tariff, right? It's almost like a revenue which is pooled in together to conduct these events. So the commercial element. So the problem I have with the word commercial is there anything that comes free in the world today, right? The players will get a prize worth maybe few hundred rupees. They still spend 20 times or 30 times more the amount to raise the bulls, to bring the bulls. So I don't understand this aspect of commercialization of the sport. Even today, every event is
Rajshekaran, you just
connected
want to
to
clarify
a
your
temple
point?
festival.
Yes. I want to see giving 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees. I'm okay. It was there. See, I'm from Vellore, where it is we don't have this Jallikattu. I'm native born and brought up in Vellore. Of course, settled in Chennai. So I know what is happening around Tamil Nadu. I have people around. See, what I mean is, see, you give cars worth 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, you get sponsors. I mean, getting sponsors is commercialization of the whole event. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. See, I'm not accusing. No wrong in it also, no crime. Before, he's also right. Himakaran is right. They spend a lot of money in bringing up the bull, taming it, taking care of its everything. To take care of a bull, it's like maintaining a human. I agree with all that aspect. But as far as the commercialization of this whole event has gone beyond imagination, that is what I'm trying to highlight here. That love, that passion has decreased. I wouldn't say it is not there. It is there. But earlier days,
but that can be said of...
Pardon? I didn't get you.
But that can be said perhaps of everything in the world. But I just want to know from the two of you from Tamil Nadu, and I believe Sam Daniel can join us as well. First to you, Himakiran, then to Rajshekaran, and finally to Sam Daniel. Give us an overview sense of what this sport means to you, what these events mean to you, starting with you, Himakiran. What does it show about society, about people, about that village culture?
So, across the world, in any place where there's a traditional activity, be it fishing, farming, or, like hunting, gathering for the tribals, at the end of harvest, once a year, there is a festival associated with that particular activity to celebrate the activity, to give thanksgiving to the gods, to nature. And, it manifests in different ways. I mean, across the world, there is a harvest festival, and tied to the harvest festival, there will be a village festival, like in a temple. In fact, in Dindigul district, it's associated with the church, St. Anthony's churches over there. Essentially, this is pagan culture that's been morphed into something that's much larger now. So people come from all over the world. Wherever they're working, they go back to their villages for Pongal, and they want to spend time in their villages. They participate in the village festival, and this is the cultural aspect of it. And taking this away, is there any right given to anybody to say you cannot follow your culture?
What this means culturally, Rajashekaran, what does it mean?
See, culturally,
what does it symbolize? Very briefly.
Yes, it is culturally very celebrated sport. I would say everybody plays this Jallikattu sport with a compassion and love because they think it is their ancestral property or ancestral sport. It has been played for decades. That's all fine. I have nothing. I am with it. In fact, I am one of the person who was fighting for the right of Jallikattu when we had a lot of issues. We went up to the Honorable Supreme Court, and it's all after all this, after regulations and all these happened. Now Jallikattu has become the part and parcel of the state, especially in Tamil Nadu, southern part of the state, and the Delta region.
Right.
Being so, you get into the commercial next level of activity. The love, the tradition, the culture is diminishing. That's what I'm trying to say. Please don't misunderstand my point.
Okay.
I'm saying that love has diminished.
So both of you have made your points. Sam, Daniel, why don't you weigh in here? Because this is not just about Jallikattu. Let's also talk about, in Andhra Pradesh, there are cockfights that's there. Prize money is up to 1.5 crores. I remember over the last 25 years, you've seen many of these events. From an observer's point of view, what has really changed about Jallikattu, the emotion, the sentiment that it offers?
Well, in terms of the cultural aspect, it still retains the original value, but as it was discussed, it's the commercial aspect that has reached disproportional heights in terms of it becoming a money spinner. In that sense, the original cultural being seen as a sport of valor, that's something is no longer there. But in terms of animal cruelty, in terms of the bull tamer's safety, a lot has changed. For instance, the government has put in place double barricading to make sure spectators are not targeted. Vets actually screen every bulls that come so that the issue of intoxication, signs of torture can be checked. In terms of the safety of bull tamers, they no longer allow the entire lot of bull tamers to be on the arena, but they send them in batches so that they are not exposed to the ferocious or charging bulls in a big way. But still, despite all these things, the loss of lives do happen, injuries, maiming do happen. But the larger question, should we start looking at this particular ancient sport in a different way with contemporary viewpoints with respect to animal cruelty, with respect to culture? That's being the question that's being discussed, fought at the court level too.
Right. That's a question that's been discussed several times. Obviously, there are very different arguments that's been made, but it is a moment of celebration there in Tamil Nadu. Thanks very much, Hima Kiran, Rajashekaran, as well as Sam Daniel. Happy Mattu Pongal to all of you. And of course, tomorrow is the big day of Kanum Pongal as well. So happy festivities there. And thanks to all three of you for joining us here this evening.